What's going on, YouTube? It's the Blind Poet here, and today I'm going to talk to you about what it's like to lose an eye. Now, I hope you guys haven't eaten recently, because what I'm going to show you may provoke a bit of nausea. But, right here is my left eye, or what used to be my left eye. As you can see, there's a plastic shell inside. Due to the coronavirus, I haven't been able to get the prosthetic fitted yet. It was supposed to happen last week, but we'll see once this virus is over. You know, I'm not the only one suffering. So, why did I take my eye out? Well, that particular eye, my left eye, has been basically, I've always called it dead weight. It has not served me since the age of 5. I have no memories of being able to see from it. My only memory was bleeding from the eye in first grade and being rushed to the hospital. Apparently the retina had detached and the surgery was botched. Honestly, we didn't find out anything about malpractice until years later, but I'm pretty sure that we could have made a good-sized fortune from what the doctor did to me. Anyways, with glaucoma, which I explained what it is in a recent video, essentially, since the fluids cannot come out of the eye, what's called drainage tubes are installed. Yeah, they're actual little tubes in your eye. They're about the size of a noodle, and essentially the point of these tubes is for that the excess fluid, rather than pressing on the optic nerve, can be released. But since the eye didn't work, the tubes were basically just, freight. It was just dead weight. So, I am 27 right now, and I remember either being 5 or 6 when the bleeding of the eye happened. So in those 20 years, I haven't seen anything from it. However, about 10 years ago, it was causing me a lot of problems, and I remember the subject first being brought up in my doctor's office saying we may have to remove the eye. Now at this point, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I was a 15-year-old kid. What do 15-year-old guys like? Yeah, like girls. So I was like, maybe this will help me look better. I was doing this for all of the wrong reasons, but ultimately it just scared me, taking out an eye. So I was prescribed an ointment that was supposed to soothe the eye, which it did for a couple of years. However, anyone with a basic understanding of medicine or biology knows that one is not to be on antibiotics for a long time. The eye drops, ointment that I was put on is erythromycin, which is a very strong antibiotic. I was on that for 8 years, and my eye didn't like it for the last year or so. Even as a pain reliever, once I would put it in, it would start to get red and swollen. Basically, 2 years later, in several doctor visits, I've tried medication, everything from Lyrica, gabapentin, sumatriptan, and they were all temporary masks. Even with something as strong as oxycodone, I realized this isn't something to take, it's a bandage. It is essentially 4 to 6 hours of relief, but then after that, you take another pill. And that's what sort of made me come to the decision. Do I want to live a life hazed out on medications, being a slave to my pain, or take the first step in normalcy and remove the eye? And that's what I did. On February 19th, I went into the Fairfax, Virginia hospital for the surgery. And I'm not going to lie to you guys, I've had 32 surgeries. This was the only one that elicited anxiety. For the 31st surgery, it was a cornea transplant. I was excited. I was over the moon. I couldn't wait to get it started because that signified sight. However, this was purely a pain relief thing, and I was told that the pain was going to be excruciating. So when I wake up from the surgery, let me tell you something. I thought I knew what pain was. I've experienced an impacted wisdom tooth. Like I said, I've had 31 eye surgeries. I've had glaucoma attacks that have knocked me out. So I thought I knew what pain was. No, my friends. This pain, and I kid you not, excuse the graphic detail, but imagine a knife in your eye socket being twisted over and over. That's how I felt for 1 week. And I was given oxycodone for the pain. The first night, I remember swallowing 6 tablets, and I'm not proud of that, my friends. But it did nothing. It did nothing. In the hospital, they gave me several shots of hydromorphone, as they do for post-op patients, and the nurses were astounded as to why I was still in pain. They even thought I was an opiate user, believe it or not. You know, the only thing that I use on a daily basis is Kratom to manage my pain, and Kratom has nothing on hydromorphone. So they were asking my mom, does this kid use drugs or something? And, it took all of my willpower to say, I got my eye taken out. There was blood running down from my left eye socket to the back of my neck. Would you not be in pain as well? This is not Percocet 5 pain. But at the same time, throughout all of this entire process, I had lost so much dignity because I was basically in the mercy of the doctors. And something in me snapped. And I refused to go back to the doctor and beg for pain relievers that were ultimately not going to work. I took it upon myself. Folks, I am a medical marijuana patient of the state of Virginia, and it has recently been decriminalized for recreational possession. However, at the time, I was consuming pre-98 bubble gum is what it's called, and it would come in a cartridge. And if you know anything about those cartridges, they're very, very concentrated. It was the only thing that would even allow me a semblance of sleep for the first 2 weeks because I was supposed to be bedridden, doctor's orders, right on the heels of this quarantine. So I smoked a lot of bubble gum, about 2 or 3 cartridges worth, basically a cartridge a week, a gram cartridge in a week. These are things I'm not proud of, but when you have your left eye taken out, when you have any eye taken out, you tell me what you would do. The doctors, after me making a complaint, because I felt really victimized for them talking about, how I wasn't responding to the pain medication, I told them that I didn't feel adequately served because, folks, I might have to get my right eye taken out in the near future. And if the process is going to be anything like my left eye, it has scared me away from it because the pain, I cannot describe it to you. So I basically used the cartridges, and that's how I could get 2 or 3 hours of sleep. That was a few months ago, and now we are in the blessed month of Ramadan, and I believe in basically pure mental spirituality. They say that food, abstaining from food and drink, is the bare minimum of Ramadan. You have to look into your mind. You can't use certain comforts that you used to use to help you relax. You teach yourself on your own. So it's ultimately about meditation and mindfulness with the pain. I deal with pain every day. I take a glass of kratom to help me adjust. However, it's still a temporary bandage. But I like kratom. It works for me. It's not strong, and I can stop it whenever I want. And the only withdrawal symptom that will occur would be, man, a glass of some Red Vein would be delicious right now. I know my body, and I've had so much experience with the doctors that I know what works for me and I know what doesn't. The road ahead is tough, honestly. I don't know when I'm going to get my prosthetic. I don't know when I can start living my life as a quote-unquote normal person, but all I can do is try. So by making this video, I want people to understand a few things. One, the whole glass eye stereotype is something that needs to be phased out. The technology has improved so much, and the molds that they have for prosthetics are to the point where, obviously, if I stared at you, and I was looking in the wrong direction, I was blind, but you couldn't tell. Hopefully, I can't wait to show it to you guys when I do get it. The second thing is glaucoma being a brain condition, not an eye condition. I thought that my headaches would stop after this surgery. No. And I'm learning during this month that I'm just going to have to deal with it. I'm going to have to find alternative ways to deal with the pain. I can't get stoned every time I get some pain because out of every single eye drop and pill that I've tried, there is no medicine more effective for curing high eye pressure than marijuana. I've got several eye doctors that will confirm this. However, I'm an adult, and I plan on working federally. Puedo comunicar en muchos idiomas. Y yo quiero usar mis habilidades para ayudar muchas personas. Por ejemplo, yo he trabajado con refugiados y quiero que sepan, aunque no tengo mis ojos, aunque no puedo ver, no me importa del hecho que quiero usar mi habilidad de hablar, de comunicar, de socializar con personas para ayudar personas y informarles. So, essentially, that's what I've made this video for. The editing on this video isn't good, but you know what? I don't want you to focus on what shirt I'm wearing. I don't want you to focus on what my hands are doing. The point of this video, I'm talking to you directly. I want you to know what that blind person you see walking on the street, he's got a whole story to tell. And all you gotta do is ask.